This is a quick start video to help get you up and running and familiar with your MirageDrive Pro Angler 12, 14, or 17T. The 17T has 2 seats which allow for multiple seating configurations. If your dealer didn't already unpackage your Pro Angler kayak and do the basic rigging on it for its initial outing, your kayak will probably look something like this. If you have some extra packaging left over to take off of the kayak, around the handles or the bow and stern area, and you're using a box cutter or a knife to remove that packaging, just be careful that you're not cutting into the hole or potentially slicing shot cord or bungee or anything like that. I like to go in and remove the tape or open up the tape and the packaging with an upward motion. So I'm actually cutting away from the anodized aluminum H-rail and some of the other components that you might run into on the kayak if you're finishing the unpacking that way. One of the first things you'll notice when you're ready to start setting up the kayak for its maiden voyage, you'll need to install the steering handles. And so I've unpacked the accessory box that comes with the kayak. In that box will be the drive with the disassembled cranks. Inside this bag that you'll find inside the accessory box, you can find the steering handles, 2 steering risers to lift the steering handles up a little bit closer to the seating position. So ergonomically, it's just a little bit more of a comfortable position for the steering handle. If you prefer to keep a more low profile rail, you can choose to install the steering handles without the risers. We've included 2 sets of screws for that purpose. And in this same bag, you'll also find the transducer mounting hardware. It'll come with an adapter plate for installing a side imaging transducer, some extension tabs, and mounting hardware for traditional skimmer style transducers, along with the rubber grommets that you use for the through hole fittings. And I'm actually going to install both risers, one on each side. To install the steering handle, make sure this horizontal pin is centered over this plastic part on top of the rail. Stack the riser on. Take your steering handle with the long screw included in your accessory box and just thread right into the top of the crank. There's some threads that have been integrated into the crank, so you just thread right on down in there. You'll take one of these stickers and place it in the round flat atop the steering handle to cover up the hardware. And then you're all set. I'm ready to move on to the other side. And stack the riser on. And then the steering handle and the screw, and you're going to thread right into the top of the crank. And the nylon patch on this screw will prevent the screw from working itself out over time. I'm going to place the sticker on lastly, and our steering handle assembly is complete. While we're in this area of the kayak, we're going to go ahead and install the seat. So I'll show you how that adapts to the kayak, and then we'll go through some of the adjustability of the seat. The first thing to notice is that you've got these black plastic shoes that are anchored into the deck, and your seat has a fitting that matches right up with that. With your seat tilted forward, you're going to insert the feet into the shoes and then rotate the seat back. And naturally, it's going to want to rest on the kickstand back here. One safety feature built into the seat in the event of a capsize is this leash mechanism. So you want to slip this grommet right over the pin on the back of the seat frame and then fit this keeper right onto that. It's got a tab so it locks in. You've got a positive lock there, and the seat's not going to come out. So always make sure that step is taken. I'm going to level out the seat bottom, and the way to do that, you're just going to take this tube here and you're going to twist it clockwise until the seat comes up to a level position. And Likewise, for the seat back, obviously, if I twist it one direction, the seat back moves forward. To get the seat back to recline, you're gonna push forward on that and rotate the tube the other direction as you sit back into the seat back. Same thing goes if you wanna drop the level of the seat down, you're just gonna push forward, turn counterclockwise, and sitting in the seat, the weight of your body will help that seat bottom go down. You do have a kickstand feature on this seat for a high and a low setting. So the seat naturally goes into the high position on the kickstands. If you want to drop the level of the seat down a little bit to get a lower center of gravity in the kayak, you can sit forward, pull the kickstand T-handle, and sit back down into the chair. And of course, you'll need to adjust the seat bottom down in this position and adjust the seat back up in this position. This Pro Angler seat does have an adjustable lumbar support, so you can pull down to release the tension and sit back in the seat to kind of get a more concave seat back. Click that up into place, turn clockwise to increase the amount of lumbar support that you get in the seat. So find out what's comfortable for you, and this BOA is going to be your friend on the water. You may find yourself adjusting it several times throughout the day. Just like the BOA tensioning system on the seat back, you've got a BOA tensioning system here on the left side of the cockpit. What this does, it'll increase or relieve tension in the steering lines. So to increase tension, you want to push the BOA knob in and turn it clockwise. The amount of tension you have on the steering lines comes down to personal preference. However, if you're traveling a long distance or you're pedaling in chop and current, it is nice to put a little bit of extra tension on the steering handles. Opening your accessory box for the Pro Angler, you'll find that the drive is disassembled from the cranks. There are a left and a right pedal. Make sure that your drive's shifted into the forward position. That helps me just identify which is the left pedal and which is the right pedal. So you'll need to remove these stainless bolts, slide the crank in to the opening here on the drum, and then fasten this bolt back into the body of the drive. I'm going to move to the other side of the drive and unthread this bolt. Should be in with just a few turns, enough to keep it securely attached to the drive. Set that aside and keep track of that. Again, with the crank to the center of the drive and the pedal pad facing the user, I'm going to depress the gray button atop the drive and get it slotted into the number 4 position. Insert my bolt. And you want to make sure that when you thread these bolts in, that the head of the bolt goes all the way down, flush with the plastic part of the drum. When you've got your drive assembled and you're ready to insert the drive into the MirageDrive well, the drive will attach to the kayak via these click and goes. So it's an automatic spring-loaded mechanism. Insert the drive straight down into the well, push down, and the drive automatically clicks in. The click and go levers should be facing the bow of the kayak. If for some reason one stays back like that, just go ahead and manually push it over and ensure that your drive is locked in before you start pedaling. To remove the drive, pull back on the click and goes. So you're gonna pull the levers back toward the seat and lift straight out. As I lift the drive out of the well, the click and goes will reset so that you're ready to put the drive back in and use the automatic locking feature right away. To accommodate users of different sizes, we've got 7 height settings on the drive. The seat is not going to slide forward or backward. The way that we accommodate different sized users is by adjustability in the cranks. So to adjust the cranks fore or aft, push down on this gray button and you'll slide into position, release the gray button, and the keeper pin will automatically lock into that preferred setting on the drive. So max would be a 7, listen for that audible click. The pedaling motion is similar to that of a bike. The setting on your cranks should allow you to achieve a full pedal stroke with your leg almost straight, but the knees still slightly bent and not locked out. Depending on if you've adjusted your seating arrangement throughout the day, you may want to adjust the crank setting slightly to match. Up to 30 degrees separation in the pedal cranks will still allow for a full shift. I like to position the cranks parallel and then reach forward and shift into reverse, but the drive will still shift from forward to reverse with up to 30 degrees of separation. With one pedal all the way forward, you won't be able to achieve a full shift of the fins because the fins need a little bit of clearance from the bottom of the hull to be able to completely rotate 180 degrees. So to allow just enough room, mostly together and parallel is the best way to achieve a full shift. Included with your kayak is a bungee hook, and this is used for securing the drive into a flat position underneath the hull. The kick-up feature on the fin is set and ready to go. At the front of the fin, you'll notice a black set screw. That controls the tension of the kick-up mechanism. Over time, if your fins have kicked up, you may need to thread this into the boom a quarter or a half turn at a time and make sure that the fins are kicked back when you adjust that. In the cockpit, you'll notice 4 T-handles that control an important part of your kayak. We've already gone over the transducer retraction. T-handle retracted and cleated in will suck the transducer mount up into the hole. To release the transducer and expose the side imaging transducer below the kayak, give the T-handle a swift pull toward the center of the kayak and let it drop back into the hole. Same thing with your rudder. Your rudder deployment is going to be on the right side of the kayak via this T-handle. A swift pull toward the center of the kayak and release. That will drop the rudder down and give you freedom to steer left and right from either steering handle, or to retract the rudder back into the recess underneath the kayak. You'll pull straight back toward the seat and make sure that the nylon cord engages with the cam feature on the cleat. You've also got a tracking skeg that sits underneath the hull in front of where the rudder sits. You'll release that the same way, so a swift pull toward the center of the kayak releases the skeg and allows it to drop down. The tracking skeg will come in especially handy in rough or choppy conditions or when traveling a long distance from point A to point B. It'll help your kayak track in a straighter line and take a little bit of stress off of the steering handles. Pro Anglers will ship with 2 horizontal rod racks. You've also got a cup holder that accommodates everything from a soda can to a large Nalgene sized water bottle, and you're free to place this on the H-rail wherever you'd like. Also, if you ever want to paddle the kayak or if you're storing the kayak for a long period of time, this cassette plug snaps right into the drive well to help it maintain its perfect shape over time. To attach any of these H-rail accessories to the 12-sided H-rail mounting platform, go ahead and push open this red gate and then unlatch the knob from the clamp. That will allow the clamp to open up, fit around the rail, click the red knob into place and close the gate, and that'll fasten the accessory to the H-rail. One important feature to note on the H-rail clamp is that this knob is threaded, so you can actually adjust the tension Every Hobie kayak comes equipped with a standard paddle. The Pro Angler series also come with this convenient T-handle, so you can use a single paddle easily if you'd like. I like to install the T-handle to one of my paddles, and if I ever need to maneuver out of a situation where the standard turning radius isn't quite enough, if I get stuck in a tight position, I can grab this paddle with the T-handle on it. Each Pro Angler kayak's gonna come with an owner's packet. Inside that owner's packet, you'll have a detailed manual, so give that a read, especially if you have any questions, and to reference recommendations for storage and transport. You have a MirageDrive delivery checklist, so this ensures that you know all the pieces and parts have come with the boat. You've also got a warranty registration card, so go ahead and fill that out and submit it to us. That could come in handy in the future. For all your accessories needs, you can download a PDF version of the parts and accessories catalog on Hobie.com. Go there, click on gear, and at the bottom of that page, we have some downloadable brochures and catalogs. Look for the catalog titled Kayaking, Fishing, and Eclipse. You can see our entire line of parts and accessories so you can outfit your kayak to your liking. Now that you've got all the basic rigging out of the way and your kayak is ready to hit the water, make sure you wear a personal flotation device and close those hatches and have fun on the water. We'll see you out there.